we have in the headlines today we're going to pick apart? First of all, big news. It's Friday. Congratulations. You made it. Your weekend is here. March Madness is going on, too. That's awesome. A uniquely incredible, great sporting event. Even if you're not into sports, check out these kids playing basketball. It's a lot better than the NBA these days. I will tell you that much. Not only that, we've got Trump's Japan joke yesterday, specifically a Pearl Harbor joke. I see this as a litmus test to see whether or not you need to lighten up a little in your life. I literally laughed out loud. This is one of the rare things on news I saw live yesterday. It was on in the background when I was working doing something else, and I literally laughed out loud. But you might have to work on lightening up a little if you didn't find this funny, because even Japan's prime minister eventually found it funny. But Jake Tapper and the people in the media didn't, that's for sure. Speaking of Japan and allies, Gold Star families met with Pete Hegseth yesterday. Very sad event, but they had an important message for him we need to talk about. Quick little SAVE Act update. Is it passed? No. That's about the update. And we have a Bachelorette Meltdown. The show, The Bachelorette. And you're thinking, the hell is he talking about The Bachelorette for? Has he ever seen it? No, I have not. But this is worthy of talking about, because now the whole world has seen the meltdown that got the show canceled, and now the apology tour has begun. Everything I've ever said about the non-apology from celebrities, it's fantastic. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. For the Wicked Radio live stream and replay on X and YouTube and Facebook. More importantly, I think, because that's where most of you find it apparently these days, that's the thing that's growing, the audio podcast. It gets sent off into the internet, into the ether, as soon as we're done with the live stream, wherever you like to get them, whatever platform you choose. More importantly, all right, let's get to it. Enough of me talking. Let's go to President Trump talking. This is comedy Trump. I'm telling you, I laughed out loud when I heard this. So he's sitting with the Japanese prime minister, who he loves, and she obviously loves him. Very important meeting, because at the end of it, it was Japan's support for our efforts in the Middle East, and she pretty much was the linchpin in getting all the other allies to support. Now they're going to help us out in the Strait of Hormuz. It's all a good thing. But this is the moment everybody's talking about.
We went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
Well, only him. Now, if you've seen the video and the close-up and the still shot of that, you saw the Japanese prime minister. Again, remember, there's a translator involved, too. I think she heard clearly enough Pearl Harbor, and she did go stone-faced for a second, but she lightened up after that. I think, I'm sorry, I found that hilarious, because it's just a perfect moment. He's got impeccable timing. He's not afraid to say something like that. And also, only he could get away with that. Honestly, why didn't you tell us about Pearl Harbor? Now, this is why I say it's like a litmus test to see whether you need to lighten up in your life or not. Because you know what you don't want to be? You don't want to be Jake Tapper. That's right, CNN's Jake Tapper, because immediately, he wasn't the only one. He's just the most prominent one. This is not funny. It's a serious moment. It's quite disturbing to hearken back to a historical moment that, oh, shut up. Here's Jake. For what it's worth, Prime Minister Takaichi was born 20 years after Pearl Harbor. Thanks for clearing that up, Jake. Appreciate it very much. I'm sure she hasn't heard about it. God, what a humorless moron. You know, I'm always telling you that these media empty suit talking heads are humorless. They really, truly are. They are. And you're going to find people in your personal life today. Maybe you'll run into somebody at lunch or overhear somebody talking about the Trump Pearl Harbor joke. Maybe they're all upset about it. Just lighten up, would you? Good God. Two things can be true. A serious subject matter. Nobody wants to joke about what happened there. And talking about it now. It's kind of a healing thing. Anyway, this is more serious than that for sure. We have lost some American service members in the Operation Epic Fury. And those families met with Pete Hegseth and President Trump yesterday. Pete Hegseth said something really important in the aftermath press conference talking about this. I think the message is very, very important. Here's Pete yesterday.
Yesterday at Dover Air Force Base, President Trump, the chairman, and I stood in solemn silence as heroes came home. Flag-draped caskets, we honored them. We grieved with their families, and we listened. What I heard through tears, through hugs, through strength, and through unbreakable resolve was the same from family after family. They said, finish this.
Now, you may be thinking, and good for you for asking the question and thinking this too, like, how do we know that's true? How do we know? We're not hearing from them directly. How do we know Secretary of War Pete Hegseth isn't just making it up to support our war effort and our efforts? How do we know the Gold Star families told him personally to his face, keep this up? Here's the determining factor, I think. If he was lying about that, I'm pretty confident that those families would have run right to the media or told somebody or done an interview or maybe a video themselves and put it on social media and said that was a lie. I'm pretty confident about that. And also there's this factor, too. Consider it. Imagine the horrifying situation if you lost a loved one, son, daughter, whatever it is, dad, in a military effort. Wouldn't you want your side, your team, to go after those bastards with everything they have? Because I would. But I think you can believe them and take it for face value on that one. I really do. Otherwise, it would be easily, debunked. I'm pretty sure it would, but that's their message. Unlike the talking heads who are on TV every single day saying that nobody supports this. Well, they lost family members in Operation Epic Fury, and they appear to support it, so I believe them over the media. All right, let's get an update on the SAVE Act. Is it passed? No. Now, one video, the rare occasion where I couldn't stomach playing a clip for you from Senator Lisa Murkowski, Republican, in name only, from Alaska. She got up there yesterday in her time to speak, and she had maps, and she had graphics, and she had displays, just printed up from printing and graphics department. And she said she can't support the SAVE Act because of geographic difficulties for people to vote in her state of Alaska. She's just awful. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, the hell with the rest of the nation, right, Lisa, I guess? Anyway, she's one of them. She's one of the rhinos not passing this thing. All the Democrats are against it, even Fetterman, because they didn't like the ID thing. But they also proposed this yesterday, apparently on the Senate floor. They said, okay, forget everything else and just focus on the ID part of it. Just let's narrow this down. Let's whittle away to the one thing everybody supports, just showing voter ID at the polls. And every single Democrat still voted against that. Here's Mike Lee. God love this guy for trying. This is what he said yesterday after he was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, I think.
Of having free and fair elections, and it makes them impossible. So, look, I think that there's only one legitimate reason to oppose this. I have yet to hear a legitimate argument against the bill, which begs the question, do they really just want to make it easy to vote so badly that they're willing or even enthusiastic to just make it easier to cheat?
Well, he's finally saying that. We've all said it now literally for years. We know, I know, everybody knows, everybody, especially the Democrats, the only reason why you'd ever not support voter ID, even as popular as it is because you want to cheat elections. And they're finally saying it out loud to their colleagues in the Senate. You need to say it more, and you need to start getting tougher. I said this probably a month and a half ago when this all started, when it was in the House version. You got to start exposing some of the people against this, and you got to start exposing. Now, they want to do that because they know that it'll come back on them. And I'm sure that there's Republicans, serving in the Senate right now who are also probably shouldn't have been elected in a fair election, most likely, and they know that. So they don't want their records being looked at. I think you need to start going onto the Senate floor, and the people who oppose it have, again, go down to printing and graphics and have big billboards with who their sponsors are, who their lobbyists are, who their supporters are, who their campaign donors are, and get to the bottom of why they're not passing this. Because that's the only thing that's going to happen. You're going to have to call them out and shame them. It's all it's going to take. It's so ridiculous and embarrassing at this point. But there are fighters. Rick Scott, him. There are many others. Senator John Kennedy. They're all fighting. But not everybody is. So that's where we are on that. All right. Let's go to the big story of the day. The Bachelorette has been canceled. What? Why am I talking about The Bachelorette? Have I ever seen it? I have not. But I saw this meltdown. The whole world did. Like it or not, in celebrity news, celebrity world, TMZ is massive, and they usually get the story exactly right. And they break so many different news stories. So I'm going to give you the story first, and then I'll play the little video if you haven't or seen or heard it already yet. ABC, and this is one of the important parts of the story. ABC, the network, has pulled the plug on the new season of The Bachelorette. And right now you're going, oh, how will my life go on? All right, hold on. There's more. Video surfaced of the star, Taylor Frankie Paul, assaulting her then boyfriend. What? Assault? And in 2023. It's 3 years old. Nobody saw this until now. The new season is over before it began. The video shows Taylor viciously assaulting Dakota, then throwing metal chairs at him while, and this is the really awful part, even worse than that, her 5-year-old daughter was in the room. Ugh. At one point, Dakota says he was hit by one of the chairs. He says the kid was hit by one of the chairs. It's an awful thing. It led to Taylor being arrested. She ended up pleading guilty to third-degree felony charge of aggravated assault, blah, 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 blah. After TMZ released the video, though, Taylor's rep said it conveniently omits context. I don't know what kind of context you would need because if you haven't seen or heard the video, this is what it's like. Again, true enough, it's 3 years old, but here you go.
This is called physical abuse. Yeah. Yeah. See, Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do.
All right, well, that's ugly. That's gross. So it led to, like I said, ABC canceling. She was going to be the star, I guess. She was the Bachelorette of this new show. Big show for them, big ratings, getter, all that good stuff. So it's canceled. Here's my first interesting takeaway. Remember, context of the story. This is a female domestic person assaulting the male, right? Okay? Usually shows get canceled when it's obviously and clearly the male assaulting the female. All of it's bad, but this is interesting that it's coming from her, and ABC canceled it. It's interesting that ABC Disney, by the way, now jumps in. Didn't cancel it. They must have known about this 3 years ago, but now that the video is out there and the image is out there, now they're canceling it. Would they have canceled this program so quickly? Again, big revenue stream for them. Would they have canceled it if this was a few years ago when the culture was a little bit different, right? When it was, remember, believe all women. And she's saying, it leaves out context. No, I had reason to do it. Right? But now we're in a different era, and a massive media outlet, ABC Disney, cancels this show, excuse me, now that the whole world has seen this video. That's my first takeaway. Interesting. I'm just asking the question. Would they have if things hadn't been different? I don't know. But here's the real story, and this just happened this morning as of Friday morning as we go live here. She's on Good Morning America, ABC's morning news program, to offer her apology, or as what I call, this always happens from celebrities and media figures and politicians, the non-apology apology. Look for the key words here. I'm sorry they felt that way, leaves out context. I was living my truth. Listen for the key words here, and let's see what they say. And then I'll tell you about why she's doing this interview and why ABC wanted this interview, first of all. But here she is.
I want to hear all about your Bachelorette journey, but first I want to give you the opportunity to respond to recent headlines about the alleged domestic violence incident with your ex-boyfriend. What do you want to share with us about this?
Honestly, it's been a heavy time to see the headlines, especially during this time of The Bachelorette being released, and it's supposed to be a really exciting time. I'm a person that will always speak my truth, and that's what I'm known for, and so when the time is right, I will be. But right now, just trying to be in the present moment and focus on this. But the thing is my kids do come first. Mm-hmm. My kids come first, and so it's been...
Except when I'm throwing a metal chair around them. And did you hear it? Key buzzword. I speak my truth. I can't stand that term because it's always used in the non-apology apology from media figures. I speak my truth. Listen, there's the truth. Not your truth, not my... There's the truth of what happened, not my truth and twisted away. This is a PR thing they developed. They invented that term. Speak your truth. Yeah, okay. Okay, why did ABC give her that interview? Let me tell you how this works. ABC, the network which has The Bachelorette, which so far has canceled it, this was their last gasp chance. This was their last Hail Mary effort to see how this interview went, to see if they could salvage the program. Let's keep in mind, again, this is a massive revenue stream for them. They don't really want to cancel it, and they didn't want to. They knew about this for 3 years till TMZ released the video, and then they had to. This was their last gasp effort to try to see how this went, to see how she did in this interview, to save it so they can somehow weasel out of uncanceling it. Probably didn't go well, going by that. If they do uncancel it, that would be something else, but same thing every single time. Every single time. This is how the media plays you. This is how they do it. It's my truth. My priority is this. It leaves out context. Right. Sure. But they did cancel it, which is interesting. I don't know if that would have happened years ago. Anyway, thanks for finding me. I appreciate you. Get into your weekend. Enjoy some March Madness. Enjoy the weekend. Even if you're not into that, just be safe, be happy, have fun. Thanks for finding me. As always, the replay will be right here on X and YouTube and on Facebook. The audio podcast gets out, released to whatever podcast platform you like to listen on as soon as we're done with the live stream. I appreciate you as always. I got to get out of here and start the weekend. So do you. So make it a wicked awesome one. And I'll talk to you later.